Hello. So, I feel sort of like this mortal sense of fear, but also maturing as a person, thinking of things like there's nobody else. Not to state I couldn't discuss something with someone else, or it's almost not productive at all to post things like this, but for the sake of my archive, I guess, of things that I've archived online, it's like it's not a disaster. It's simply this like reason to keep things to yourself. To keep things to yourself. Or it's like I'm going stealth mode since it's too heavy on my mind that just like things that I think about. Um, I thought that during a discussion with some other people regarding my ostracization of the Iwana community that I consider myself a criminal. I'm not stating whether or not it's morally wrong to have done what I had done, but it's more just like I consider this a crime since I thought I was abusive to this person, and that's a crime. So I don't know. But then it's also like I think about these uh, particular people, and not just people who I'm involved with at all. In fact, it could just be, you could just state I'm just thinking about individuals and like also struck by this solipsism that it seems like I can't deny it, and that's part of the reason I isolate too. Since you realize yourself whilst you're alone, you realize yourself, and it helps you mature as an individual once you realize there's nobody else. Especially how people get treated, it's like you sort of like you have to you have to solve yourself. Like someone else is not going to solve you, and it's like, but also it's like sort of like you gotta keep your mouth shut type of thing. Since I've found myself struck by this not only like mortal fear of my own death, but of course death is a something that's involved in such things. Is this mortal fear of other people who also I'm certain have thought about their own mortality, and it's like I'm completely powerless. I can't control anything, nor I'm certain not exactly. And I realize like I'm not exactly certain what's going on, or I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the intelligence is regarding whether or not people realize that I'm lame, or in other words, an alien. I'm not certain what the knowledge is. Like, okay, so there would be intelligence means that someone knows I'm an alien. So this could be like the government or something. But I was also paranoid, and it might just be paranoia, that I was being stalked. And I don't know if this is true or not. But I noticed the car, and I don't know, I just thought, like, it's hard to explain, but like I thought I might be being stalked. And then part of what sparks my line of thought that I'm thinking about things like this, it's like I'm literally in this position that it's like I'm sort of going stealth mode. I'm sort of like going stealth mode, and to keep this to yourself, since it's like what's so interesting to talk about with people that like it's like, hello, how are you? It's like it's more like the people who I've got to keep them close, because there's only several people I think who I keep particularly close. Um, in fact, let me think about it. How many are there? Maybe there's like 3 or 4 people other than myself. But you know what I mean? I also started. I don't really. It's something I don't really understand, but I think about money, and I have the money to afford rent. I have some surplus money, and I was thinking about things like assets. So you could say that if someone gets a car, that's called an asset, I think. So if someone has a car, it's an asset. But I also was thinking like the tattoos I want to get are assets. If I was going to, you know, one of the tattoos I want to get is going to state Wintermute, and it looks like I'm going to get this tattoo soon. Who was it? Wintermute was a Japanese Vocaloid producer. Um, but this desire of mine to be anonymous and despite the fact I produced this video, I could still be the anonymous type and, just observe, just by lurking these anonymous communities, not necessarily the one in question, but it's interesting, but it's also just like, but I also have to be able to be like comfortable in my own solitude. I have to be okay with being in my solitude. Or like I said earlier, I was going to call the tattoos an asset. So I don't know. I want to get these assets, these tattoos, because it's important. And I sort of have. It looks like I'm going to get another one, but I need to be totally fine with being alone. Even if this is what I wanted to pursue, which is like this life of isolation. And it's sort of like I feel like I feel like I'm being crushed. Like there's a song from Wikiface Spring Eternal's Suffer On album, and I realize I'm old, and like I realize I'm being crushed, and I dislike it if I'm not productive, but I'm not the most productive, not at all. Since like I struggle to focus, and it's like I realized that like the thing about internet videos is that like I tend to forget the things that I see, and it's like once you turn it off, you don't really think about it. You know what I mean? But the reason I watch the internet videos, I don't know. I thought just to have a routine. I do have a routine, but it's not the most strict routine. I'm also going on a diet since I want to maintain a certain body type. So that's another reason I'm going on a diet. And, I consider myself a woman, and I felt like I was maturing. Like, I never got the chance to be a girl. But I felt like I'm maturing from girl to woman. And it's like I still think like a teenage girl, but it's like I think like a woman, like someone who is matured from girl to woman. The only difference is that I never got the chance to be a girl, and it's like I need to be a woman if I was to speak with others. And it's like if I was it's quite difficult if I was going to date someone. There's like a lot of work involved in that, and I just don't think I'm up to the task, since like I just need to be alone. I mean, I'm still recovering from my addiction. I'm sort of stuck on this mortal fear. I still consider myself a hikikomori, which is someone who spends all their time alone. And I spend all my time alone. In fact, it's not my priority to date someone. By the method, I'm asexual, but I like men or women. But I'm asexual, and it's not my priority to date someone. I would prefer to date a man, though. At this point, I mean, I don't know. I would prefer to date a man. I'm still solving the gender dysphoria, and I was going to state that it's like and perhaps if K-Dot is listening, he might be intrigued by this particular video, because I think I'm stating some interesting things. Is that I'm black, and not I meant like the color black, is that like I sort of I see outer space. Uh, like on my album, I said it looks like outer space at night. It's like I see outer space, and this is another reason I chose solipsism, or why I call this the triple C fantasy. Things like this, just words I think about. If someone, and I was looking into this philosophy by Kant, and I read a little bit about Kant, and how he talks and his philosophy. And I was thinking, like, if someone was going to take myself into account, since I suspect this is another reason I hold on to fear, is that my presence will become known once my mind evolves to the point of visibility. Since I think I only have a mind, so once my mind evolves to the point of visibility, but yes, if someone was going to make some type of philosophical thing, I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm not like the most smart. If someone's going to make some philosophical statement regarding myself, I would just provide a description of how I think my mind works, and to state that I think within my solipsism the universe is impossible. And by the way, when I call myself a solipsist, I'm not stating other people aren't conscious. I'm just stating like I'm solipsistic. Like, how is it possible throughout all history I'm the only alien I ended up as myself? Now, this is not to state that like other people are not conscious and they didn't end up as themselves, but that's more like nihilism, not solipsism. It's like I'm the only alien throughout history. So is this not the triple Z fantasy? And then I find myself listening to this song by The Weeknd a lot, called Double Fantasy. And simply from the title alone, I suspected that this song has something to do with myself. And I like this song, but this is the reason I've been listening to it. Is simply the title of the song. I thought it was inspired by my album Triple C Fantasy. And it's also not common knowledge, I guess, that Misinterpret Sacrifice is my second digital album. I mean, I sort of left a few things online that I thought was important. You could explore my YouTube channel. There's like, this is going to be my fourth video. But yes, also this mortal fear of death and thinking about people. Not necessarily, like I said, I think I said this before, not necessarily people who I'm involved with. Like, I think about Goth Boy Click, or I think about, there's so many, I mean, most people are nobodies in nobody, meaning that they're not being recognized by other people. Like, if you're an artist, you're being recognized for your music. It's like, I'm a nobody. The fact I'm an alien causes fear. Since I don't know I doubt something is going to happen. It's just like, it's sort of like you gotta keep your mouth shut kind of thing. And it's like, I know I was recognized by Drake and all these other people, and I don't know if you guys are going to see this video, but I don't know what's going on with all this heavy shit that you guys think about. I don't know what's going on with that. I only know the heavy shit that I cling to, because something that's heavy to me is Serial Experiments Lane. That the Serial Experiments Lane guys produced this with not evidence that I was an alien, but I'm literally an alien. So I'm like afraid. One thing that I'm afraid is that the creators of Serial Experiments Lane do not know this. I'm scared. I'm scared that the creators of Serial Experiments Lane do not know I'm an alien. And, this, like I said, I took inspiration from the X-Files, but, like, that show is more like witchcraft. Like, it's just talking about, like, interesting things, but it's not legitimate. But this is, like, legitimate. Like, I'm IRL, and it's, like, this is why I'm, like, I don't know, I'm going stealth mode, man. I'm going stealth mode. It's too heavy, man. I mean, a lot of it is just like shadows. Like I just don't know. and it's like I'm all alone in this room, and what am I doing? I don't want to state like I'm just a number, but I'm just, I just gotta live like a humble life. And I won't state I'm not humble. I'm humble. And it's like I realize that I dislike immature people. It's like I dislike immature people. It's like I just don't like them. I dislike those people. It's too heavy, man. But it looks like I'm going to get another tattoo soon. So I guess I'll make some progress. And then, I don't know. It's not illegitimate to get the false teardrop. I don't think so. I still don't think so. Um, and if I was going to explain this to someone, I would just state March 26th. Since it's not really exactly something I could explain. But then also, melancholy or sometimes I'm overwhelmed with emotion. And it's just so, this fear, but also like, I still love you, and it's like I was crying the other night. It makes no difference. It makes no difference. So, I'm not certain I spoke about this, but I want to protect the people who I consider close, but also only to relate to those people. I guess I could communicate or discuss with other, like, it's not like I couldn't talk to someone, or that to say that talking isn't like, there's nothing wrong with this, but I don't have the opportunity to talk to people. Um, I've got my own problems, man. Uh, but yes, to protect these people who I love, I thought simply to just be silent and to protect myself. So, I'll let you go. I'm not certain what else to talk about. I'll let you go. Also, I quit OSU. I quit W. I quit OSU. The tattoo on my left arm is for Angel Sim Osu. Since I had a crush on him. I'm not certain I still have a crush on him, but I had a crush on him in high school. Like looking at his Twitch streams. Uh, so there's this. So I'll let you go. Oh, but there's one particular website that I like a lot, but I won't talk about what this website is. Let's keep this a secret. So I'll let you go. So I'll let you go.